Wouldn't you have a little bit more respect for someone if they were like a Somali pirate got his hands on like Blackbeard's ship, and every time you go through like the Red Sea or like the Suez Canal, you're going like over the Horn of Africa, like there's just like a giant like, oh, it's Captain, there's a Queen Anne's Revenge is on our starboard side, and it's like a fucking like cargo container ship. They're like, all right, brace for impact. I don't know why I'm making the captain a pirate now.
Anytime they're going to say something that's nautical, they have to use that accent.
Imagine if in that movie with Tom Hanks, and when he gets on the ship, it's just like a Somali pirate. We haven't seen it because like I don't think they show them talking until they actually get on the ship. So the movie goes, we see them in their Somali village. They get on the little power boats.
Yep.
They get on the ship, and Tom Hanks is like, "Okay, guys, like, let's be calm." And then the Somali guy just turns to him and is like, "Hey, look at me. Let me tell you something, dear boy. I am the captain now." Is that what pirates sound? I'm just making him sound like Irish or something.
Wicked smart, wicked cool, wicked fucking stupid, whatever the fuck. Something wicked.
I'm baking like a toasted teaser. It's so hot here.
My boy's wicked smart.
Cause the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Have you seen a 3D movie recently?
No, I haven't. You and I have talked about this, that
Yeah.
just 3D doesn't work for us.
No, it doesn't.
We're visually handicapped. So yeah, guys, welcome back to another episode. Wicked Hot, Kevin and John. We got a pretty good episode this week, and I know we say it like every fucking week, like, we're excited for this. We're excited. I am legitimately very, very excited for this. So we posted a pic on our Instagram at Wicked Hot Talk, by the way. And I think we had one guess.
Yeah, and it was wrong.
Unless
it was pretty wrong. Yeah.
So we posted a picture. I think we also did on the Twitter. We posted a picture of Biff and his crew from Back to the Future, and the point person guess 50s fashion. Just random.
I don't think he's listened to the show ever.
Okay. 50s fashion, Back to the Future, and did he say 3D glasses?
He did say 3D glasses.
So he's technically not wrong.
He's not wrong, but he's not right.
He's not right. 3D glasses will be mentioned in the episode, but it is not. We're not talking about the construct of 3D glasses. It's not like how did this get made kind of thing on like Discovery Channel, like how 3D glasses are made.
That's a great show. I actually might Google if there's a how it's made on 3D glasses after the show.
It's funny. I used to go to this car wash, and that was always at while you waited. And I swear to God, like I didn't even care that my car was like done, not anymore. I'm like, well, I'm here. It's like Lazy Boys. So I was like,
that's a show.
I don't know. The gas station has everything I need. I don't know if I need to go anywhere after that.
That's definitely a show where you lose track of time when you're watching it. Because I can burn through like 10 episodes and be like, oh, easy. Fuck, it's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so this week, guys, we got 3D movies. A little bit of history of 3D movies, plus some honorable mention 3D movies.
I wouldn't say a little bit of history. I would say a lot of history.
A lot of history. So, as always, we're in Wicked Hot. We want you guys to learn some good stuff. We got it. 3D movies is the way it wants to go. So, I'm just going to say this, Kevin. You and I, as we mentioned, just are not a fan of 3D. Is that me like overstepping, or is that me just like understepping?
That's 100%. I don't like 3D. at all.
I don't. Is it because like for me, if I wear glasses, surprise. It just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me. It just
Yeah, I wear glasses as well. Do you wear contacts at all?
Yeah, not really. Not anymore.
So if I know that I'm going to see a 3D movie, I will bring or wear contacts.
See, that's like way too much planning ahead. That's way. It is.
It's never like I'm hanging out with my friends and it's like, hey, let's go see that new 3D movie. I'm like, fuck. Do you not see the glasses, you asshole?
It's like insensitive. That's like asking a guy in a wheelchair to go jogging.
Yeah.
So, exactly. By the way, guys, if you have a friend with glasses, that's the equivalent. So be a little more sensitive next time.
Yeah, and they probably never even thought about it.
Yep. Nope. But seriously, it's like a dick move to invite someone with glasses to go see a 3D movie. I will say that, like, going to a 3D movie for someone with glasses is probably like the most painful experience ever. Like, I need like I think of like all the old people with like the binoculars that they put like over their glasses. That's what I need. They need like, listen, movie theaters cater to people that are deaf with, closed captioning devices. I need like a legitimate helmet that can go over my glass. My glasses aren't even that big, but I need like some apparatus to go over them.
What if it was like just the clip-on ones that just like clip onto your glasses?
I wouldn't be mad, but they would have to have one from all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, they would. And I don't know about you, but I buy some fancy glasses.
I will say this. Unless I'm on a ride at Universal, I don't want to fucking see it. I just want to watch a movie. I don't need any 3D stuff. 3D stuff is for things at amusement parks, like shows at amusement parks. I'm also convinced that the only time they ever work is like when you're in like a theater specifically only meant to only play 3Ds ever. Because IMAX plays both 3D and non-3D movies. I need something that just is 3D all the time. And that's like all it's meant for, which is theme parks. Not a Universal. Don't want to fucking see it. Just want to watch the movie.
Yeah, I know when I was younger, there was an IMAX theater that would play 3D movies like all the time. And it wasn't like your movies that are typically out. It was just like documentaries and shit.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that, but I will say there are a lot of IMAX movies that really bring just so much good shit that I just remember. I'm like, do you remember this movie? You remember this? Because like, I don't know if you ever like went to like a museum or anything, but
I have been to a museum. Yes.
The IMAX theaters there, it was like, you got to watch like some Egyptian shit, like Egyptian documentaries and underwater stuff. It was always like a treat.
Yeah. I remember I watched 2 in my life, and one was about underwater stuff. It was super cool.
Yeah.
And then one was called like That Damn Beaver or something. It was about beavers.
There you go.
It was so fucking interesting.
The one that I specifically remember was this Egypt one, which just showed like these beautiful shots of Egypt and like talk about like the history, and it was all in 3D plus popcorn. Like if you're at the movie, like if you go to the museum and it's like, yeah, we'll go see this IMAX movie. This time we go around, fuck around in the museum a little bit, and then you got to go see like a movie. And it was like, I always loved Egypt because of the Mummy, and I know you hate me for that, but Brendan Fraser is what got me into Egyptian shit. Is the funniest thing to say.
That's interesting.
But yeah, guys. So we got 3D movies, history of 3D movies coming at you right now. Get into it.
The truth with the 3D question, it's very complicated. You know, films are 3D inherently. That is the point of what a film is. It's a 3D image presented on a 2D screen. Stereoscopic imaging, which is what people commonly refer to as 3D, is a refinement or a trick, if you like, to fool the eye into perceiving some kind of parallax.
All right, guys. So history of 3D movies. Before we even get into like the whole history of it or even like the technology, we kind of just wanted to give you a little bit about just 3D in general. So 3D in general, Kevin, like explain this to me. Like How does this work?
Yeah, so it basically mimics, like, so the distance between your two eyes is about 2 inches, and it mimics with the two films 2 separate images, and basically you see 2 separate images, but your eye is so advanced that it puts those images together and makes it look like it's 3D when actually you're just looking at 2 separate images.
Okay, cool. So yeah, from that, like basically the beginning of using 3D stemmed from the use of stereoscopes. And the best way to describe like a stereoscope is more like what you know today is like a ViewMaster, right? It's just like I was going to say a portal into the unknown.
Is that
like,
the thing that like clicks? So you like put the things in, it clicks?
Right.
Okay.
It's you like put the film in, right? And it's basically, even though it's presenting, I don't know if it presents as 2 images, one for the right eye, one for the left eye, but it's kind of the same thing. Like you're basically completing an entire picture into, like, your brain basically fuses, like you said, like each angle makes it look like one entire photo.
Yeah.
To basically begin it, we have a inventor called David Brewster. Guy basically created the kaleidoscope. He perfected the design with the usage of a lens rather than a mirror. So like the first stereoscopes had mirrors that you just looked into the image. This time they were lenses that he put in. So he presented it at the Great Exhibition of 1851, which further sparked the interest for 3D. But the real thing was when stereoscopes in motion pictures were first being used in the late 1890s, when William Green, who's basically, he was like an innovator in motion picture making and early color film, like colored film, because, you know, obviously a lot of the shit was black and white back in the day. So he actually filed a patent for a 3D film process that utilized the stereoscope as kind of like a headset. Just think of like 1800s VR goggles. Think of the fucking, the size of the binocular helmet from Jurassic Park. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, his head's like tiny and those things are fucking huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so basically, you watched 2 screens side by side and the headset did the rest. But it just, the patent was kind of, I don't know if it was ever granted. It just, I know that it said like it wasn't a practical usage due to how cumbersome everything was.
Everyone at the time was like, nobody's gonna, what, 3D? Fuck you, idiot. Denied.
Yeah. But yeah, so next we have the very first movie, which is The Power of Love. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about the amazing song by Huey Lewis in the News in Back to the Future. Although that would have been amazing if that's the first thing, like somehow they like the power of love and just do in 3D. I think that would be pretty cool. They should definitely do that. But yeah, The Power of Love, the movie premiered in 1922. It was the first to use a rig that, like a film rig that projected 2 film strips and the usage of red and green anaglyph glasses. So the anaglyph is basically, you know, 2 colors to see 2 different images in whatever color.
Right.
But I think it's weird that they use green instead of the normal. I don't know if this is how you say the color, cyan or cayenne.
I never know
cayenne
either.
pepper.
And I don't want to sound like an idiot, so I never say it to anybody. I think it's
we'll
cyan.
just call it the normal green blue because it's like a green blue.
Yeah,
right?
it could be either color or it could be both.
Honestly, it just looks like fucking blue to me.
To me, it looks like purple.
Okay, so clearly we're also just colorblind. But yeah, so unfortunately, the whole red green thing never kicked off because the movie wasn't anything that warranted 3D effects, which is kind of like Great Gatsby. We'll get into that later. But the movie sucked. No one fucking cared, and yeah, it just didn't warrant 3D. So now we enter a little thing called Teleview, the Betamax and HD DVD of the 1920s.
Nice.
A do-it-yourself 3D spectacular. Or so I thought. So the idea was that viewers, like glasses, not like actual people, were attached to the seats. Because that would be pretty scary if like the legit viewers are like, you will watch this 3D, can't go anywhere. But yeah, the glasses were attached to the seats and synchronized to open and close their displays based on what the projector was doing. So when I originally read this, and this is why I said the do-it-yourself 3D spectacular, I thought that people had to manually change watching the
like
movie.
they're just constantly flipping back and forth.
Yeah, they're like opening one like a right shutter, closing left shutter, closing left shutter, opening right shutter, whatever. So yeah, that's what I thought. But even with that usage or whatever, like the teleview stuff, it just didn't caught up. It was the Great Depression started, which is clearly one thing that can kill 3D movies. So I'm not saying let's get back into the Great Depression, but I'm just saying historically it's not good for 3D movies.
We know we know what can kill it, but are we willing to take the risk?
Exactly. Like lives will be lost, but no more 3D movies. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So the 50s 3D craze. So 1952 and 1953 roll along, and we get two subsequent movies. We get one called The Bwana Devil and the other called The House of Wax, not starring Paris Hilton.
I actually saw the Paris Hilton one, which I didn't hate.
No?
I didn't hate it, no. But I saw Jason X in theaters, so...
Yeah, you saw Jason X in theaters. Wait, but like Paris Hilton wasn't a main person in the movie.
No, it wasn't like anything to do with Paris Hilton. I just thought it was a decent horror movie.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really... Even though it says it stars Paris Hilton, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Because she gets killed pretty quickly.
Yeah. She does die real quick.
But yeah, so House of Wax, not related to that. There actually seems to be some sort of like kind of debate on the first 3D color movie. A lot of people say Bwana Devil. A lot of people say House of Wax. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really researched and tried to find like clips on YouTube for Bwana Devil, and some things show it in color, but like other things show it in black and white. So I don't know if like House of Wax purists, there's like a war between the people of House of Wax and the people in Bwana Devil that are just saying like ours was the first. Now we're gonna like post like YouTube videos of yours in black and white.
I wonder, it could have been one of those situations where, you know, like The Dark Knight, how only a couple scenes were shot in IMAX,
right?
And you can tell by the black bars.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like Bwana Devil is like a couple scenes that are in 3D are in color, and then everything else is in black and white.
Yeah, they're like, this movie's gonna be, no one's gonna have a full cut of it, so I'm sure like in the future they'll just only see clips. But yeah, so couldn't really find if Bwana Devil was like for sure the first color one. It seems that House of Wax was, but I'll just go with this. Bwana Devil actually did utilize something first. They actually utilized Polaroid filters. So basically the filters on your glasses. And as you know, well, maybe not, but that's just became the standard for all anaglyph 3D movies. So any red green, and red whatever fucking combo 3D glasses you find, they're all Polaroid. They're all Polaroid filters. So that Bwana Devil was actually the first to use that. So whether it was black and white or not, or color, we don't know, but that is a for sure thing.
Damn, did they like patent that technology or something?
Polaroid did.
Oh, that's
so I mean,
crazy.
if you think of like polarized lenses, it's like all Polaroid, just like Polaroid cameras. It's like that's just like the standard in a lens.
Huh.
So yeah, good to know. But yeah, so one thing that everyone does seem to agree on about, and I'm talking about House of Wax here. Again, House of Wax starring Vincent Price and not Paris Hilton. Was that it was the first horror movie in color. And it was actually the first to utilize this stereoscopic sound. So basically like IMAX sound, which I don't know about you, but I want to know what like IMAX sound sounds like in the 1950s. It's like, whoa, hello. It's just
like
normal.
2.1. It's just like two speakers instead of the one speaker.
Yeah. Yeah. How the fuck do you think they got sound in there? Because I know like sometimes like in the olden times they had like the actual like live orchestra to play or even like the piano guy, like the silent movies. Like,
Yeah. I'm wondering if they had like the film strip, because at this time I don't think film. Yeah, so they would have had to have the film strip and then sync the audio through like a different device, and then play them completely separate.
That seems like a lot of work for 1950s cinema.
Yeah, so you probably run the risk of it being completely off. Even by even by a millisecond, it would be noticeable.
Like you're watching like a dubbed movie.
Yeah,
Like every single movie in the 1950s looked like one of those like cheap 70s like Chinese movies.
yeah. Unless they found a way to really nail the timing for the sound in the video.
There must have been some sort of device, as you say, to sync the two.
Yeah, I'm sure there was. I'm not sure what it was, but they had to have something. In the 50s, come on, they were smart back then.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, so House of Wax first to use stereoscopic sound, and interestingly enough, Vincent Price was known for his horror movies. He was also known at the time for being the king of 3D movies because he had been in so many 3D movies. I actually tried to look up to see if he's still the king, but there's like different numbers because I couldn't find anything that like legitimately list out every single movie they were in. Because I mean, if you think of The Rock, he's in a lot of 3D movies, but I think some of those movies were converted in post-production.
So you don't consider a 2D movie converted to 3D? You don't consider that a 3D movie?
No, because they didn't have the ability to do things in post and make it 3D back in the 50s.
True. So you're a purist. Even though you hate the technology, you're a 3D purist.
I'm a 3D purist, even though I fucking hate 3D. That's right. So another big release of Creature from the Black Lagoon and Dial M for Murder, the Hitchcock movie, continue to popularize the 3D field, which is crazy because I knew Creature from the Black Lagoon was like a classic horror movie, like one of the first. I had no idea that it was actually released in 3D. Like it was marketed as being released in 3-dimensional. It is the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like that's how it was marketed, because I watched the trailer, and which is hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Did you catch that trailer? And then the Dial M for Murder, which again falls into that category of like, did that really need to be in 3D? Did it really? It's the guy on the phone. He's on the phone. The phone's 3D. I don't know. What's going on.
The phone's popping out at you. It looks like he's handing it directly to you.
Oh, that'd be good. I want to see that now. But yeah, so those two movies continue to popularize the 3D field until they didn't. So the tech at the time was so delicate due to requiring the reels to be in perfect synchronicity, lest it cause eye strain and headaches during viewing. Which, if you're telling me that was the technology back then that they didn't want to do that, like, surprise, it's still fucking, like, you can't, like, it's still not going to work.
Yeah. That really required a person to, like, hit the button, and you have to think, like, how many...
If it's up to humans, there's no way.
You have to think of how many frames are being shown in a movie. It's, like, millions. If not, probably hundreds of thousands. It's 24 frames a second. Somebody has to push the button at the exact same time on both projectors, and even if they're off by a second and you're seeing it in 3D, it's unwatchable.
Yeah. No, definitely. So just because it was expensive, it needed to be perfect, just kind of went out again. So now we get a 70s revival. So in 1970, Stereovision came into play and projected both reels through a Polaroid filter that combined both reels into a single 3D image. Now, most movies made into 3D were very much targeted for older viewers and for fans of violent horror films, which at the time, like 70s, even to like to 80s, we see just the typical naming trope for third installments, like Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D, Jaws 3D, Amityville 3D. it's just that was just kind of like the normal thing, is just really shitty horror movies like Jaws 3D. Like there's no,
They're just like dying to get to that third installment so they could be like, yeah, we need to make this in 3D now.
I can totally see the pitch to like any sort of franchise, and you're like, look, we'll have 1 and 2. No one fucking cares about those. We'll just put on whatever director. Now, hear me out. It's blah, blah, blah 3D. They're like, I like it. Print it. Get it into production. If they had been smart, they could have just done like the George Lucas way and just like, instead of start with this, you know, the sequels, it's the prequel, or like, I'm sorry,
Start with
sequels,
3D.
It's 3D. Episode 3D.
and then go back. If the movie's a hit, you go back and make the prequels. If not, you've got your 3D trope out the way.
If not, it's like, well, no one's going to keep watching this shit, so who cares? But yeah, so because of this, there was just another slump. It was just too much for theaters to have 3D capabilities. It was way too expensive for filmmakers. And
it was a pain in the ass. Like,
right.
That was like right around the time that they switched to red and green, or red and blue glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I've watched one with those glasses before. It's painful to my brain to watch a cyan colored image that's supposed to be like a movie. I'm supposed to take it seriously, but it's like red and blue. No.
Yo, shout out to that pronunciation though. Yeah, no. Looking at the screen, this is what I never got. I don't know if it was just my glasses. Was the movie in red or blue?
Yeah,
like
the movie is. Yeah,
I thought it was just like made like it was just red and blue, and then like whatever color was projected on the screen, it made it into like a normal image.
No,
what you were seeing, the red and blue mixed in the color palette.
You're seeing the combination of the red and blue. I don't even know what color that is. Like purple. Yeah,
purple. So the screen's purple.
Yeah, you're pretty much seeing purple. That's why I could never get into that.
Fuck. I don't think I've ever legitimately seen a movie with anaglyph glasses. That must have been a pain. Then the Creature of the Black Lagoon was like black and white and purple. Really just purple.
The whole
like
movie
purple,
was
black, and
just
white.
Purple. Yeah, it would have just been purple. That's a bitch. Like, that sucks.
They should just make a movie about like a 3D grape land. Like all the characters are grapes, and it's like, oh well, this makes sense. It's grape land. Everyone's purple.
Yeah, they really should have. They used the color glasses to their advantage, but they didn't. And I wouldn't be able to watch a movie that was only one color just to get it in 3D. No, I'd rather watch the 2D version of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically there were a lot of movies that were only one color, black and white. Although I guess that's 2 colors, but they really were just, I don't know. I feel like black and white is its own color. Yeah,
black and white is definitely its own color.
Yeah, it's a gray movie. Black and white is gray. So
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, slump because of the shitty glasses. And expensive for 3D, for having 3D theaters, having directors make movies. So we get to the mid 1980s. IMAX emerges as the strongest proponent for 3D filmmaking. They would initially start with producing their own nonfiction movies. So like we talked about in the museum, we get the Egyptian documentary, we get the underwater documentary, we got beavers building a fucking dam in 3D. That's awesome. But yeah, so IMAX actually presented at the 1986 Expo. I believe this one was in France. I think I just have France stuck in my head. I don't know why. But this actually introduced the usage of polarized lenses and encouraged theme parks to even add the technology.
Yeah.
So
this was definitely like the rise of, or the start of the modern day technology is the polarized lenses.
If you look about it, that's like basically when we started getting all the rides with 3D, like Terminator and Universal, the 3D Terminator, and I know you probably haven't been to these theme parks. This is like a staple in like Florida. Like I know all these things like like they had like the Michael Jackson ride where it was like 3D dancing, like 3D in Disney or something. But yeah, like you get a lot of like 3D things at like theme parks. And the best part was where they were just clear Polaroid. So like tinted Polaroid, you know, it wasn't like the red and green anymore.
Yeah,
Like
so
now
they
we
could
just
actually have color shit. Like,
right.
because I know when they shot in blue and red or green and red, they had to like color grade the movie like so insanely weird that it had no lighting or it had no texture to it. It was just like, oh, it's popping
Flat.
out. Yeah.
Flat image. Yeah.
Super flat. Yeah, this was like the first time that they could actually do something well, like make something colored very well for 3D.
Right.
And they started doing it right during this time.
Right. And you know, it's funny because when you mentioned the red and green stuff and like the red and cyan stuff, there were actually, and the reason it became mostly towards like older crowds and like horror fans was because they tried to do cartoons in 3D and it just looked like cardboard cutouts in 3D. So there was like no depth because it was a 2D image, you know, it's not like a person is in 3 dimensions. A 2D cartoon of flat surface, a piece of paper basically is like walking around like a cardboard stand, which is, I think would be pretty funny, but I guess kids didn't like that. But anyway, yeah, so we get to modern day 3D, 2003, not surprising to anyone, James Cameron released his movie Ghosts of the Abyss. It was the Titanic documentary, basically the Titanic 2 to his Titanic in 1998 or whatever. He used, in this time, HD cameras and digital film to capture 3D. So no more like, you know, 35, 70 millimeter like film for 3D or like 3D film, whatever. The biggest game changer though for 3D was the release of Polar Express in 2004. That it was released in both standard and IMAX 3D theaters. So the thing that was crazy about this is that despite only having a small amount of IMAX 3D screens, the IMAX theaters actually managed to account for a legitimate quarter of the movie's box office receipts.
Damn.
So despite like how little IMAX theaters were, it was like legit 25% of all the sales for Polar Express were from like a minority.
Wow. That's crazy. That means people really wanted to see 3D back then.
Yeah. So because of this, like a lot of studios saw, oh, well, shit, now we can actually make a good amount of money on this. I'm sure, by the way, in 2004, they were still charging you like $20 to go see a fucking 3D movie.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, would you get 100 people to see this and that accounts for 25%? Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so this spurred Real D, 3D, Dolby 3D, and Master Image 3D as competitors. I don't know about Master Image, but I definitely know Real D 3D and Dolby are still like...
Yeah, there's a couple. So
on IMAX's tracks.
Yeah, there's 5 main types of 3D. So the most common is Dolby 3D.
Okay.
So that requires passive glasses, so it doesn't require any batteries or power or anything in your glasses.
Okay.
So instead of polarized lenses that you would look through that don't require any power or anything, these actually switch the lenses in your glasses like so fast that you can't even see it.
Okay.
And it only picks up that image. So Dolby 3D requires passive glasses, so it's cheaper in that sense. And it uses primary colors to produce the light to the glasses. So it doesn't use any polarization, and it's shot onto a white screen. So it can be in pretty much any theater. They can just convert it into a Dolby 3D theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, without like, but they still have to have the projectors.
They have to have the projectors, but they don't have to do any retrofitting to the screen or anything.
Okay, because I know like for IMAX, it's because it's like, or like they have like the widescreen thing, or like I forget what the technology was, but it's like the curved screen.
Yeah,
because it also has to be curved or whatever.
Yeah. So the most I guess the best quality one is Real D 3D, and that requires passive glasses, and it's a circular polarized lens. So it means like if you move your head, like if you turn your head, you can still see the 3D effect. Any other type of glasses, any other type of 3D, you turn your head, the illusion of 3D goes away, and you only see in 2D. So it's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
The
You know what they need? They need a 3D that you don't need fucking glasses. Here
That's
are the
gonna be
glasses
next.
people out, people. Here are the glasses people out. If I didn't have to wear glasses and I could just go to the movie and just see it and be like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Or do like the Owen Wilson, like, oh, wow, this is crazy. I think I'd be a little more into it. I wouldn't go every time, but if it was filmed in 3D, I'm like, you know what, that'd probably be cool in 3D, and I don't have to wear glasses, I think I could get into it.
Yeah, I could get into that. What if the glasses manufacturers started putting that type of polarization?
3D
Because they already
capabilities.
polarize the glasses sometimes, the lenses.
Yeah.
What if they just put in that pattern to where you could see the 3D?
But I don't
Only
know if
it would
you've
only
heard-
be one type of 3D that you'd be able to see. So
So
either
do I have
the
to like
Dolby-
turn it on?
No.
Like turn on the.
No, it would be passive, so it wouldn't have any batteries or anything.
But I'm thinking like, if you're walking around the world with just 3D glasses on, first of all, you're an asshole. We could see that from Biff's like gang member. And two, I feel like that would give you a headache if you're not watching a 3D movie. Unless it treats like the world as 3D, like what's in front of me. I'm like, well, yeah, it's 3D because I could see it, I could touch it, I could feel it.
No, because like if you wear the 3D glasses outside of the theater, it doesn't really have any effect on how you see it.
Can I ask you how you know this?
Because I've done it.
Kevin was like, I can't afford glasses this month. Gotta go with these
No, like-
babies. What brand is that? Real D. Get into it.
Yeah. No, it was the first movie I saw, so I was like playing with them to see if I could see without the yeah. So it does work.
Okay, good to know.
So the Real D 3D, it requires a silver screen, so it can't be any theater. It has to be a specific Real D
silver
3D
screen?
Yeah. It uses
Like-
the polarized light
Wait.
to reflect off of the silver screen, so that's how you get the polarization back at your glasses.
Wait, so a silver colored screen, or like, he got me silver screen?
Yeah, silver colored screen. If you ever look at, I don't know if you ever get a chance, but if you look at a Real D screen with the movie, not like nothing projected onto it, it's bright silver.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's it.
So,
Go
is
ahead.
it the glare from the silver screen?
Yeah, the reflection is what you're seeing. You're not looking at the image. It's like reflecting back onto the glasses.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a little
That's
more advanced.
pretty cool.
They actually used to use that before in cinema, like in the 40s and 50s. But it was horrible technology. So the only issue with Real D 3D is like the viewing angles on it are not as wide as with any other 3D.
Right.
So you'll see the Real D 3D. That's what I see most, at least in Arizona, is Real D. And I've noticed going into those theaters, they are very narrow.
Yeah. Is the Cine Capri? Oh wait, but the Cine Capri is in 3D. Because I always see the movies in 2D because that's the best theater to go to watch 2D movies.
Yeah, I think
I'm trying to.
I'm pretty sure any Harkins is going to be a Real D 3D.
Yeah, Harkins is Real D. I'm pretty sure AMC is IMAX. So
Yeah, it is IMAX.
and I think Movie Co. and Cinemark may also be IMAX.
Yeah, because I think they're owned by the same company that AMC is.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of other theaters because that's basically like all it. I'm pretty sure Regal is IMAX too,
Yeah, that is.
but I don't know if they
AMC.
can they use Real D technology in an IMAX screen.
Yeah, they can It's not a true IMAX screen.
Okay, maybe then IMAX is not doing like IMAX 3D anymore. It's just like IMAX with real D3D technology.
It's possible, yeah. IMAX does have their own technology. It's called, well, they have two actually. It's called IMAX Digital, so it requires passive glasses. This has linearly polarized. I'm trying to really sound that word. Linearly polarized lenses, and that basically means like if you're looking directly at it, you get the 3D effect. If you turn your head at all, you lose that effect.
Okay.
And that's projected from two projectors onto a silver screen.
Okay.
And the other one
the
is
IMAX.
Yeah, that's regular IMAX, and then there's IMAX large format, which is basically the same onto a silver screen, but it's like twice the size of regular IMAX.
Yeah, I like it.
And the last one is, I've never actually heard of this, and apparently nobody uses it. It's called Expand. Like exhibit. It's just like expand.
That sounds like a fucking Viagra drug. Like a cheap thing, like an ad.
It's like a gas station
penis pill.
Penis pill, yeah. So that one actually uses active glasses, so those need to be powered. And that has the lenses that shutter intermittently for your left and right eye.
Okay, cool. You know, actually, I've always found as a glasses wearer that those usually work the most with the powered ones on me.
I don't think I've ever worn a powered ones because those are mainly TVs.
With the success of 3D, studios began converting 2D movies into 3D, specifically for key action scenes. So, like, for Superman Returns, which actually was considered to be the first movie converted, it only had 20 minutes of legitimate 3D sequence that was filmed in 3D in the movie. But yeah, that was basically the only time that they would allocate for 2D movies to use 3D technology. Like actual 3D film was for action sequences. Nowadays, of course, most films today aren't even filmed in 3D and are basically converted in post. And I feel like that's probably a majority of the movies that we see today are just converted after the fact.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because I'm like a huge film nerd, and I don't mean like I like to watch movies. I like to watch movies and figure out what lens they're using or how they're lighting a scene. Like I'm that type of person who likes to figure that shit out before I'm trying to figure out the fucking twist ending or whatever.
Yo, camera lens. That's what they're using.
So, one of the purest of 3D, and you touched on it a little earlier, James Cameron. And he's like the pioneer of modern day 3D.
Oh, yeah.
So, at the time that they were making Avatar, there were no cinema cameras that could sit close enough side by side that would have the 3D effect. They couldn't get close enough.
Right.
So James Cameron basically manufactured this rig, and it's called the Cameron Pace rig. It's also known as a mirror rig. So it takes a camera, usually like they have mounts for an Arri Alexa and pretty much any Red camera. So they'll shoot like up. There'll be a vertical camera shooting up into a mirror, and that's usually like teleprompter glass. Shoots up directly into the mirror, while the other one shoots horizontally, on your shoulder, through the mirror, and that's how they get the 3D effect.
Wait. So they shoot each other's cameras?
No. So imagine a camera sitting on your shoulder, like a big camera, like a big like, production camera. Then imagine a camera like sitting on your stomach shooting up, but offset at about 2 inches. So it's hitting the mirror, and it's giving you that 2-inch like sweet spot that you need for 3D that you can't get on normal cinema cameras because there's like 8 inches in between two of them.
But if it's just shooting up, isn't it just shooting the sky?
No, it's shooting into a mirror. Like have you ever seen a teleprompter? The glass on it is at an angle. So you can see the screen behind it. Like the camera behind it shoots right through it, doesn't even see the glass. But the one shooting up sees the mirrored reflection of it. So
you're getting
that
like
way.
2 shots through one mirror.
Right. You're getting a shot through the mirror, and then you're getting a shot into the mirror that's projecting an image.
So is the camera on your shoulder after the mirror?
Yeah, the mirror is in front of the lens of the first camera.
I see. Okay.
So
Mirror's in front.
it's pretty intense.
That's pretty complex.
Yeah. So this is like James Cameron's love child of 3D, and is
he still working on other 3D?
He's doing Avatar 2 and 3 through 9, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is mainly what's used today. There's also, so they've made in the past few years, they've made cameras a lot smaller so they can have side by side rigs, and both like mainstream companies, Arri and Red, make cameras small enough that you can have a cheaper rig, because the mirror rig that James Cameron made is, with cameras and all the gear and shit, it's about $250,000
Per camera?
per rig, because there's 2 cameras on it.
Okay.
And a side-by-side rig is about 90 to about 150,000.
Wow. That's a fucking difference, I'll say.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy difference.
No wonder those fucking Avatar movies are so expensive.
Yeah, they have, I think I remember watching a little documentary about him. He had like 10 of those rigs. So that's 20 Arri Alexa cameras that are like $90,000 plus whatever the lenses cost.
Wait,
Probably-
but I
probably
think
$5,000.
that's including the lenses.
No, that's just the body. That doesn't ever include lenses on cinema cameras.
Wait, so you're telling me it's 2.5 million before anything? But you said the rig has the camera and all that stuff, all the equipment.
No, the rig is just basically the steel
the mirror stuff
to hold it, and then the mirror.
and the cameras.
Yeah, the 250 includes the cameras.
Okay, but not lenses.
No, the rig itself without anything is about 85,000.
So it's 2.5 million without lenses. Without
No, it's $250,000 per rig, and he has 10. So
10,
yeah, 2.5 million. Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's he probably doesn't own 10. The studio probably doesn't own 10. He's probably renting from a bunch of different places.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I was gonna say no one in Hollywood actually buys the studios don't own the camera. It's like a camera place that
not usually
rents them out.
Yeah, and you'll have places that only carry Arri or only carry Red because they're like sponsored, I guess, with those brands. Those are like the main brands.
Well, it's like Dolby IMAX. It's
Yeah.
like there's like a select few at this point.
Yeah, they each have their own type of rig. This rig specifically works with Arri cameras, and then they have a Red. It's not Red branded, but it's specifically for Red cameras.
So are people still going to be filming with IMAX 3D cameras, or are they switching over to James Cameron's?
They're basically switching to HD non-film cameras, because it's the amount of film that you need for IMAX for 3D. Like if you think about it, like you need double the amount of film. Whereas if you're shooting on like cards, all you need is double the amount of storage.
Right.
So speaking of storage,
Okay.
this is what's going to blow your fucking dick off. So a normal movie, rendering, for those of you that don't know, rendering is like when you're done with a movie, you've done everything you can. Rendering is like saving as a movie.
The final movie.
Like it's rendering the movie down or rendering everything you've done down to that one file.
It's like an MP4.
No, not really. It's
Okay.
and a typical movie is about 230 gigabytes file size.
Okay.
A 3D movie is about 550. And a 3D high frame rate, like The Hobbit was, is about a terabyte a piece.
A terabyte per movie?
Per movie, yeah. So I really wanted to look into render times because I, as a filmmaker, that's the bane of everyone's existence, is like sitting there waiting for the movie to render. And I looked up some numbers on some movies.
Okay.
And I have a decent computer, but these computers that they're using at studios are monstrosities. They're using server farms with like 55,000 processing cores. So a normal movie takes about 8 days to render.
Holy shit. With 5,000 processors?
Yeah, 55,000.
55,000.
So Big Hero 6, a 3D animated movie, took the studio 200 days to render.
No wonder it takes movies so long to come out. It's rendering all day.
So I actually did the math. If I were to render it on my computer, Big Hero 6, it would have taken 10,000 years to render that one movie. Pretty interesting.
So you'd be like, I'm making this movie for the future. They probably won't even be able to play it anymore. 10,000 years.
I'm going to start the rendering when I die and then like unfreeze my computer in 10,000 years.
So I'm assuming when they're like rendering these movies at the studio, it's like, well, can't use my computer for the next week.
No, so basically what they do is they have these things called server farms, and it's basically a room just full of servers. And what they do, this is actually super like crazy. They have schedules for movies that they're going to render. And like Big Hero 6, they were rendering only Big Hero 6 the entire 200 days.
Holy shit.
So like once that movie's done, they start rendering another movie. So they're
for
like
a
constant.
terabyte? For a terabyte?
Yeah.
Or was it more than a terabyte?
No,
Like
for a
200
terabyte
fucking
to
days?
render it down. Yes.
Damn, that movie must have been in production for a while. I mean, I never followed the production for Big Hero 6, but
Well, it took,
damn.
what is that, like 7 months, 8 months to render the movie.
Yeah.
So they were done 8 months before they ever showed it.
Good
were
thing there's
done.
no
It was just
reshoots for animated movies.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about that a movie could be basically saving the file for 8 months.
Damn. Well, I think on that note, we can conclude our little history time for the week. Yeah, guys, let us know what you think about the history thing with our history in 3D movies. And from here on, we're going into our bad 3D movies. So I know I prefaced it a little bit, but there are just some movies out there that are just complete and utter dog shit, especially when it comes to their 3D capabilities. And Kevin, for my first one, I already said it before. It's The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio. If there's one thing that I don't need to see in 3D is Tobey Maguire being a creep in the entire movie.
You did see it in 3D?
I saw it in 3D.
I did not see it in 3D. I kind of wish I had now.
I didn't see it in 3D willingly. It was more just there was this theater. It's an iPic. I don't know if anyone's ever been to an iPic. There's an iPic in Arizona in Scottsdale, but it was like the first theater at the time to have like the recliner seats and all that stuff. So, my girlfriend and I, we went to go see it, and there was like the only available showings were in 3D. And that's another issue, if I may add. I feel like the reason 3D is so popular is because the time slots are always like perfect. And there's always like a million times.
They
to
always
see
use
in
the
3D.
prime time for 3D, which makes sense because they're so much more expensive.
Right. So yeah, so we saw it in 3D. There was nothing that wasn't. I mean, there was no rhyme or reason why this was. And by the way, it was filmed in 3D, so Kevin and I made a thing where we weren't going to talk about movies that were 2D and made 3D in post. This was filmed with 3D cameras. And I still can't figure out why, because there was nothing about it that really warranted the need for 3D. I do remember there was this one skit that Conan O'Brien had done where they were talking about Great Gatsby being in 3D, and he's like, well, they did have some 3D scenes. I don't know. You guys look. And it's just like a legitimate, just dramatic scene, and just somebody walks in with like a paddle ball thing.
I did see that.
And then they showed like the party and everyone's like having a good time. And then a shark just like jumps out of the pool and like goes towards the camera. So that's just like kind of ridiculousness that needed to be like justified to have a 3D movie.
Yeah, that is a pointless 3D movie. And it's funny because I was listening to some stuff before we were shooting this, and I was specifically listening to Christopher Nolan talk about 3D technology. And he said The Great Gatsby is one of the movies that you should definitely see in 3D. And he's like a big proponent for not shooting in 3D.
Well, maybe that's his point. He's like, you should watch the most useless movie in 3D.
Maybe.
That's the only point. Or he's Leo scratched his back. Now he's got to scratch his.
Yeah, not a fan of Great Gatsby in general, but
in the movie or like the book?
No, I didn't like the movie. The
Leo
new
movie? It was
Leo
fine.
movie.
It was whatever. It was whatever. So speaking of 3D movies that don't warrant anything, I know you got one for me.
Yeah, this was actually the first 3D movie that I ever saw.
Okay.
And my friends were like, "Hey, let's go see a 3D movie." And I'm like, "All right, let me put some contacts in." So I go put contacts in, and we go see Jackass 3D.
Nice.
And I picked a really bad movie to introduce myself to 3D because
didn't Jackass 3D come out in like 2010?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't.
Because I'm pretty sure I saw that as well in theaters. And
did you see it in 3D?
How is that your first? I think I did. Yeah. How is that your first 3D movie?
Yeah, I was never into 3D. I never wanted to see it. I never cared.
But you mean like first like film release in 3D? Not because you went to the museum to see.
Oh yeah, no, like
shit.
film release with this technology that we have today.
Okay,
Jackass 3D, which is actually
it's funny as fuck. That movie's funny as fuck.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, going back to the technology, like they used the mirror rig, like James Cameron, but on a really smaller scale. They weren't using like cinema cameras,
right?
And they're like the run and gun, like handheld type filmmakers. So
yeah,
if you can imagine like somebody running around with this huge fucking L-shaped mirror rig with two cameras on it, like that's how they shot the movie. And I got to give them respect for that, but it's one of those tropey movies where it's like, you know, you see the paintballs like coming at you and it's like,
yeah,
I'm not into this. And that was my first experience with it, and it really turned me off. So I didn't watch another one for a long time.
Damn. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah, I remember seeing the movie, but I can't remember if it was in 3D, but it definitely had all those tropey moments. And speaking of tropey moments, I also am going to pick one that I wanted to pick. I got to be honest with you. I wanted to pick Jaws 3D because it's like the king. I feel like that almost like even further pushed like the tropiness of 3D. But I'm not going to go with Jaws 3D. I'm going to go with a movie that had a couple things in that people were kind of freaking out about. And I remember there were huge debates on, which is Beowulf. If you ever seen Beowulf, it's a animated movie starring real characters with real faces, except they were digitally rendered and replaced for some, I don't know why. And I remember the whole debate was like, actors aren't even going to be in movies anymore. It's going to be all animated cartoons of actors, like CGI actors.
And then Beowulf came out and they were like, never mind.
Yeah. So, surprisingly, actually, this movie has a lot of 3D tropes, but without like being fully aware of itself. Jackass 3D was fully aware of itself.
Yeah.
Beowulf had scenes where a guy's riding on a horse, and I specifically remember this. So Beowulf, again, movie stars, I think his name is like Ray Winstone. and he's Mr. French in The Departed, and which is Jack Nicholson's like sidekick guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or Ray Stevenson, I don't know. It has Robin Wright, it has Anthony Hopkins, John Malkovich. It's kind of pretty Angelina Jolie, because there was like the naked Angelina Jolie, except it was the CGI Angelina Jolie body, which probably wasn't even her body. It had a pretty decent cast. And I specifically remember when Beowulf gets to like the kingdom or whatever, and a guy on a horseback rides up to him, and the spear is like in your face, like just in your face for no fucking reason, just in your fucking face. There were multiple points where like arrows were being shot, and it was like 3D arrows.
Oh God,
it was
that's
just
so
like
stupid.
Yeah, it was like taking a movie taking itself seriously, but with having all the stupid tropes. So everything that dealt with like throwing a spear, getting a spear in your face, getting arrows, ghosts like going like
like right in your face. Yeah.
It was the most horror tropey. So Beowulf is my pick for kind of out of the like corner, like curveball for worst 3D movie.
Yeah, mine actually goes hand in hand with your Great Gatsby. This was actually the next 3D movie I saw after Jackass 3D, which was Hugo.
Okay,
and
yeah, isn't that a Scorsese movie?
It was, yeah. It was an alright movie. It was
fine.
It was whatever, but the 3D aspect of it was like Great Gatsby. It was like there's some sparks in the background that are in 3D, and then
Sacha Baron Cohen in 3D.
Yeah, there's like a couple things that are in 3D, and you're just like, okay, I can't believe Martin Scorsese stooped to this tropey 3D bullshit.
Oh, you know what would be worse though? If he did like Goodfellas 3D.
Or what if he re-released Goodfellas, or like Raging Bull or something in 3D, and it's like just like a movie
like
that
the boxing gloves are like in your face.
Yeah, they go back and reshoot like all the tropey stuff to re-release in Raging Bull.
Oh my God. What do you think would be like the most 3D convertible Scorsese movie? That's my question for you.
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's not already done.
That's not already
Hugo.
Done. That's not Hugo.
Man, that's tough. I probably The Departed.
Dude, I was gonna say The Departed too. You want to know why? Only for one scene.
Like when he falls off the building?
Nope.
What?
The scene where Matt Damon walks into the porn theater, and it's Jack Nicholson like, and it's just the dildo, the black dildo. That's the only scene in 3D. It like before the scene in the movie theater, it just says put your 3D glasses on now, and it just switches immediately just for that one scene.
You never see another 3D scene.
Yeah.
That would be
like
hilarious.
Matt Damon like eating a donut. It's like a 3D donut. I don't know.
I could think of a few scenes that could be converted to 3D. And
what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, the scene where Martin Sheen is pushed off the building and he like falls to his death, that could be in 3D.
That could be in 3D.
I'm thinking the scene where Jack Nicholson breaks Leo's cast, like the cast could be in 3D.
Oh, like it exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that too. Ooh. 3D blood when at the end when like Anthony Anderson kills Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers for a
Spoilers.
12-year-old movie.
Yeah. Okay. Before we close things off, Kevin, I got a question for you. We had our 4 bad movies. I'm going to throw at you the worst 3D movie cash grab. So again, this is a 3D movie that was converted after it was already 2D, but it's a cash grab, a total cash grab. Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, or Titanic 3D?
Oh my God. I'm going to have to say Titanic 3D.
Okay.
Just because.
Is it because it's called Titanic 3D?
Titanic 3D, yeah.
simply because of the name.
Yeah, I didn't see it in 3D. I did know people that saw it and said it was really good. But again, I'm not a fan of 3D. I don't like the tropey stuff. I don't think I would have liked to see 3D Titanic. Just like I don't think I would have liked to have seen Phantom Menace in 3D. So it's kind of a toss-up.
I agree. I think I'm going to go with Star Wars on this one. And the reason I'm going Star Wars Episode 1 is because I actually went to see this in theaters. I was in a very dark place in my life at this point where there was no hope of any sort of Star Wars ever again. So my thought was, they're starting with Episode 1. They're probably going to do Episode 2 next year and go like for the whole like 2 trilogies, right? So I thought, fuck it. I haven't seen Star Wars in the movie theater in so long. So I went and saw Star Wars Episode 1, and it was as good as Episode 1 is. It's some parts are laughable, some parts are awesome.
I could see that converting all right, though.
It converted okay, but it doesn't really do anything. So I just was able to watch Star Wars Episode 1, which it's a toss up. It could be good, it could be bad. It's mostly bad, but it's the prequel, so I still enjoy them.
Yeah, at least with Episode 1, you get. I feel like a 3D movie has to be an action movie.
Yeah.
So you get like the gunshots, the knife, and that. I think that's why horror movies are always 3D, because it's like you get the axe like coming at the screen.
Yeah.
You get the knife, going at like, yeah, you get all that stupid shit. And I don't think Titanic can deliver on the 3D aspect that like Captain America could. Or
if I can imagine the pitch from James Cameron to the studio, he's like, listen, we haven't seen Billy Zane in a while. What about Billy Zane in 3D?
Try and revive his career.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. So let us know what you think about the whole history thing. Let us know if you like the history thing, because I know we did a little bit differently, but I know we wanted to go over like the history behind 3D, and plus throwing our bad movies. We always got to throw in our own opinions on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what bad 3D movie you think is like, your favorite, or could be like the worst one, or even if it's a shitty movie, if it's in 3D, we'll take it. But yeah, guys, make sure to give us a shout and follow on Twitter and Instagram at Wicked Hot Talk,
and Facebook.
And Facebook. I guess we're on Facebook now.
That's a thing? That's still a thing. Apparently,
it's still a thing. It's still relevant.
People still look at Facebook.
And obviously, guys, thank you again so much for giving us 5 stars on iTunes and for subscribing. And for the people that haven't, just, give us that review. You don't even have to give us a review. Just throw in the 5 stars on the rating, subscribe to the channel, download the episode. Really enjoy. Let us know if there's any things you think we could improve on or anything. We're always open to that criticism. But again, it's Wicked Hot. Kevin, I don't know if you have anything else.
No.
I think I covered it all.
I think you covered it all pretty well. And the best way to support us, if you like the show, we're not asking for money or anything. Just give us 5 stars. You don't even got to type anything up. Just 5 stars.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, again, thanks for joining us. Stay wicked, stay hot. See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.